Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Robin Jenkins, and I am a regional marketing manager for RMH Franchise, which is the second largest Applebee's franchisee. In the last year, we have gone through the process of adding gamification to our hourly employee experience, and it's kind of a unique use case as we're gamifying the hourly employee instead of the knowledge employee that a lot of gamification programs have targeted. So today I want to talk about why we gamified, how we gamified, and then some results that we've seen thus far. So first, why gamification? We had three factors that really played into this. So the first would be restaurant industry has crazy high turnover. If you compare what would be high turnover for bank tellers, that's about 30% turnover. Restaurant industry average is 125% turnover. So RMH, we actually have a 135% turnover. So for a restaurant that has 60 employees, we hire 80 people a year for that one restaurant. So if you can imagine the cost of that, if we could reduce it by 10%, we'd save over $1 million just in replacing our employees. Next would be the engagement crisis that everyone in the nation is facing. So only 70% of people, or 70% of people are unengaged with their job. So that's from the Gallup survey, and we're losing so much money in lost productivity, bad food, bad service because our employees don't care. So we're trying to make them engaged and have them have more fun while they're at work. And then the age of our hourly employees is perfect for gamification because 73% of our employees are millennials. So they're in that 16 to 31 age group. And before B-Block, we really hadn't done anything to cater to this new type of worker. And millennials are kind of a hot topic because we kind of get a bad rep. A lot of employers look at us as lazy. We just get motivated in a completely new way than other people. So recognition is huge, feedback, transparency, the bigger picture is what we're looking for. And employers have a hard time giving us that. So quick story. My younger sister, who's about 17, was 17 at the time, worked in this quick casual dining restaurant. And her manager, within the first week, asked her to clean the restroom. She did it, and after she completed the task, the manager said, "Mary, great job. The bathroom looks great, best it's looked since we opened." And you know what she did the next day when she worked? She asked to clean the bathroom. How often does that happen, right? So if we just, if you get that recognition, we're willing to do whatever it takes. So we looked at these three factors and decided, hey, what kind of program can we implement that will help lower our turnover by engaging our millennial workforce? And gamification came up. So in 2013, we were looking at different retention programs and stumbled upon gamification through my good friend Google. And it didn't take long for us to convince our executives that we really could get a good ROI on this program. So we knew we wanted to gamify, but the next step was how. We did not have any sort of digital space or website that employees were already visiting. And there really wasn't anything we could just add game mechanics to at the moment. So at the beginning, we thought our program would be a lot more like a game. So if you've played Diner Dash, it's like a role-playing, time management type of game where you are the host and server of a restaurant. You're earning points, and you see your progress through your tips that you're earning. And we're like, hey, that could be cool for a training program, which it still could be. But Bunchwall was able to give us a clear vision of, hey, you can just add these game mechanics and give your employees the feedback that they so desperately want without them playing a game necessarily. So we created a B-Block website where employees can look at their profile through their smartphone, a tablet, whatnot, as well as we put up a TV at each restaurant that shows a news feed as well as leaderboards and featured contests so that the employees can see this data in real time. So this is what our profile looks like, and it shows the employees their missions. And that was one of the key pieces of our program is employees don't have short-term or long-term goals that they're working towards. And so just by creating those missions and showing them their progress on those missions was a huge piece of our program. We also have the recent activities so the employee can see how they're earning their points as well as how their coworkers are earning points. And they can log into this site while they're at work or off work, so giving them something to bring with their technology with work. So that's the profile. There's featured leaderboards, so anything that we're pulling from our point of sale system, we can create a challenge around. One thing with leaderboards is they can be a really tricky game mechanic. So you have to be really careful in how you use them because they can often demotivate just as many people as they motivate. So if you have somebody who's towards the bottom of the all-time leaderboard, that's not a very good mechanic to motivate them. So we've tried to combat that with using different time frames of our leaderboard. So it rotates through today, this week, this month, and all time. So if you have a server who only works a couple shifts, good chance she won't be at the top of the all-time leaderboard, but she has a really good chance of making it to the today leaderboard. We also included an all restaurants tab. So RMH has restaurants in 15 states, and most of our employees don't know that. Most of the employees say that they work for Applebee's, and that's where the line ends. So we wanted to inform them that, hey, we're a big company, and if you need to relocate or you want to advance your career, we have a lot of opportunities. So without just shoving that message down their throat, we were able to create the all restaurants board so they can see how their store ranks amongst our other stores, and then just get that global feel. So South McAllen is in South Texas, Ada, Oklahoma, some Arizona stores, so add that global perspective. Our BTV is the monitor that is in every restaurant, and it displays real-time data. It's really fun when you do the rollouts. Employees are so excited that they can actually see this information because all of our sales data, we've always had the data, but it always just has rolled up. So their bosses could see it, but they never got a chance to see how they were doing. And that's one question we can answer for our employees is how am I doing? Well, here's how you're doing in real time. So the TV, right now, while we're in the implementation phase, we have welcome screens that welcome the employee to the program, as well as give them very clear action steps on how they can log on to their profile. And then it rotates through to a leaderboard, featured contests, as well as a news feed. And again, this updates every 5 minutes, so it's really instant feedback. And all we have is a microcomputer, an Android stick hooked up to the TV that's running on our Wi-Fi, and it runs this program at all of our restaurants, and it's customizable. So if a manager at one restaurant wants to push one thing, we can adjust that just for them. So from the technical aspect, first we had to identify what data we could pull from our current systems and what would have to be tracked manually. Obviously, we wanted to use as much technical data as possible. One, so it would level the playing field for employees whose managers were really engaged with the program, and those managers who hadn't realized how awesome gamification is. And we'll get them all on board, but it might take a little bit of time. So data that we could pull from our point of sale system, everything that a server or bartender is selling, we have that data, and we can create challenges and contests based on each menu item, as well as our training program, which is Neighborhood University. We get that data that lives in the POS as well, and we have a custom program that's getting that data and sending it to Nitro, which is Bunchball's business intelligence platform. For the manual behaviors, there are a lot of things that our employees do that we can't really track through data. So that's our host or hostess opening the door for guests, greeting them, finding out what occasion they're in for, or our back of house employees who are, are they temping all of their food? Are they wearing cutting gloves? a lot of these offline behaviors. So we're creating a manager page where managers can go in and select contest winners to really get those back of house and hosts involved, where in previous sales contests, they're just left out and ignored. And that's, I mean, they make up 60% of our employee base, so we can't afford to ignore them anymore. And the way that we deployed a Bunchball solution has allowed us to be incredibly flexible. So all of the data that we're gathering is stored into a web service, and then the web service sends it over to Nitro. And in Nitro, that's where we configure and create all of our challenges. We can see our results, as well as maintain all other aspects of our program. And key, if you're proposing to do gamification, make sure your IT team is on board, because you just created a lot of work for them. So thank you. And Roger Summers, who is the director of IT for RMH, is here right in the center. So give everybody a wave. Yeah, there you go. So if you have any technical questions, please feel free to tweet at Roger or meet up with him after the show. So for results, we currently are in the implementation phase still. So next week we will roll out our final 27 restaurants, and then all 138 restaurants will be on the program. We started the test phase December 18th of 2013, and these 3 stores were our test stores. And one of our key performance indicators is turnover. So are we keeping our employees? And if all of our stores respond like these have, we'll be in really good shape. So you can see the blue line indicates when B Block was launched, and since then they have all trended down. So that's exactly what we want to see. We have stores that have seen a 20% decrease in turnover over the last 6 months since B Block was launched. So really hopeful that that's what we see with all of our restaurants. Another KPI that we're looking for is check average. So that's how much the guest is spending per ticket. And we plan to increase this by having our contests and challenges drive those the value adders for us. So I don't really care if a guest orders the spinach berry salad or the strawberry avocado salad, but I care if they get a lemonade with that and a dessert at the end. So all of our contests are featured around alcoholic beverages, appetizers, add-ons, desserts, those types of things. Featured contests. Throughout the year, we have different types of campaigns, and in May, we did a Make-A-Wish contest. We sell stars at the restaurant to raise money for Make-A-Wish. And a really good result, last year, one restaurant raised $25 for the entire month. 60 employees raised $25. Whatever. And then this year, we featured it on the B Block Challenge, and the TV screen showed the stores in rankings. That same restaurant, with the same management team, raised $1,500. They increased from $25 to $1,500. All that changed was a leaderboard. So the whole idea of people don't realize what they can do, or they're not willing to do things until you challenge them to do it, or you give them the feedback and show them. Because I guarantee when they sold $25 or raised $25, they didn't know that was their total, but then just showing them how you're doing really increases performance there. And then engagement. So that is something that we do have some results on. So who's using B Block? So currently, we have over 3,000 users. It's completely voluntary. They are not required at all to log into B Block. And when we pulled these numbers, we only had about 60 restaurants on the program. So that's about 4,000 to 5,000 employees. So 3,000 was a great number for us. We know that our employees are returning to the site often. So 90% of our users are return visitors. And 85% of them are accessing it through their mobile phone. It's not surprising at all. We have an Android app, and people can download it and get on their phone. 13% was from desktop or laptop, and then the remaining 2% was from a tablet, which is interesting that that's so low, but it also is a younger group of employees using it, and so maybe they don't have tablets yet. All right, and then for our Android app, we've already seen 830 installs. We have over 15,000 usages, and this was pulled last week before we rolled another 28 restaurants. So I would assume that this has gone up dramatically in the last week. We have tried to create an iPhone app. Apple has actually denied us because our group is too targeted. They want something that's available for the mass public. But we'll work around that by just adding a home screen shortcut so people can download that, and it's essentially an app. So again, one great test of how the program's working is what your employees think of it. So we actually didn't even go through the step of asking them. They just started telling us, which was awesome. And we've got some really good feedback from both hourly employees and managers. The thing that I really liked about one of the emails that I got was she signed it, "A person that likes competition." So that just really reinforced the idea that these people want to be challenged and they want to be competitive. So great feedback. And the great thing about B-Block and gamification in general is that it's never done. It's a living, breathing program that you have to continue to upgrade and to refresh ideas. So things that we have in store for B-Block but have not done, rewards. So right now there are no tangible rewards, and it's been pretty impressive that we've got the involvement that we have without rewards. We do plan on adding them, but not in the traditional earn and burn loyalty 1.0 way. Any rewards with B-Block will be status and reputation building. So think of the karate belt, the color system. We can do the same thing with our employee uniforms. So you have a chef coat that your back-of-house employees wear. We can color coordinate them by what level they are on. So when you level up to level 8 in B-Block, you can get a red chef coat. That way when the director of operations or the COO is in the restaurant and they see someone with a red chef coat, they know that's a key employee for us and we need to recognize them. Guest experience measurement, so that's the survey that our guests take after their experience at the restaurant. We can use all that data that we are already collecting and just add in the game mechanics, show it on a leaderboard so the restaurant knows how other stores are doing as well as individual employees. User interaction. So right now, they can look at the profile and they can log in, but there's not a lot that they can do with it. So pretty quickly, we need to get some user interaction, whether it's with other users. So even if it's as simple as giving someone a high five or a thumbs up or challenging someone else to a contest, get them to interact and, again, reinforce that global perspective. And then also user games. So we started way back when and a year ago with the idea of Diner Dash. We can use some of those games to help our educational programs and our training programs or development and make those way more engaging because they are very boring right now. User preferences, that's where you separate your day staff from your night staff. A Tuesday afternoon server has a very different opportunity to sell alcohol than a Saturday night server, right? And so even if it's as simple as you get triple points for selling alcohol before 3 p.m. or you get double dessert points, definitely need to make it fair. Even though some of us wouldn't mind a beer at lunch, it's harder to make that sale. And then social media, so allowing employees to share the badges that they've earned on Facebook or Twitter, or rewarding them for using certain hashtags or statuses, or even if they just like our Facebook page, really incorporate social media, which is so much of the millennials' lives. Like the first thing I do is I look at Twitter in the morning. So if we can get them sharing things on social media that are positive about their work, you see a lot of those negative Facebook stories about employers. If we can get them talking positively, that's a huge benefit for us. So again, we're still in the implementation phase, and hopefully next year we have a lot of positive results with our turnover and our check average. But it's been a really fun program, and still working on it, but it's been really fun. Thank you. Okay, so she asked what the cost of the program was. It's been under $90,000, and that's very scalable. So we have, we could kind of double our usage right now and still be in that range. So it's been very affordable. We actually were spending way, way more on our previous earn and burn loyalty program, which we removed. I mean, we actually started at we were at 45 restaurants this time last year, and we've acquired 2 more companies since then, making us grow from 45 to 138. And if we would have just used those programs that we already had in place, we would have been spending at least 4 times the amount that we're spending on gamification. And a huge piece of that is we did take away a lot of the rewards, but our rewards were not impactful. They were completely extrinsic, and I mean, you got a gift card, and then you could quit the next day, and that gift card would have the same value. So we will bring back some sort of reward, but it will really have that Applebee's value, so that if you go and work at the restaurant next door, you can't wear that chef coat, or you don't want to wear that sweatshirt that you just got. So, yeah. Any other questions? I think we have time for a couple. Yeah? So a lot of it is through the TV, which is a great and very quick communication platform for us. So other than that, we've done rollout meetings for every restaurant. So I've been traveling our restaurants for the last 4 months and rolling out, and we've had rollout meetings with all of the managers so that managers really understand the concept and then can utilize it and drive the engagement. And then they get 5 points every day just for logging in, and that's one thing that we've picked up at G Summit so far this year is we need to add more triggers to get them to log in, even if it's like a time challenge. So if you log in before 7 a.m., you get the early bird bonus, or some of those fun things to make it engaging to log in. But we've been very surprised and very happy with who is logging in and how often they're doing that. Yep.
What does the stock analyst say about reporting on the trend? What does Wall Street think of the gamification that you're doing, or do you know anything about it?
I have not asked Wall Street what they think, and I have no idea. Our executives like it because they like that trend. Hourly turnover is one of the most costly problems for our company. Each employee that we lose costs us about $1,500. And so if we can reduce that, they love it. So. I have no idea. Yeah, our franchise is privately owned, and yeah, I don't know. That's all right. Yeah, we're privately owned and operated. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So it's completely voluntary to log in and be engaged with the program, but every employee, we're tracking all that data for every employee before they even sign in the first time. So we can use this for their performance reviews, and they can see their feedback if at any point they decide they want to be engaged. All that data is already there from the launch date. So yeah, it's a great tool for us to use to measure really how is this employee performing, and what can we do to help them perform better. And I think that is all the time we have, but thank you so much. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.